Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Welcome into the Steelers Talk Live Show. I am your host, Jack Sperry. That is your producer, Jeffrey Cooperstein. We got a bunch of great Steelers content coming your way here over the next hour and a half or so. First up, we've got the latest news and rumors surrounding your Pittsburgh Steelers. Mostly news. It's less rumors now that the trade deadline has passed, Coop. So Indeed. Lots of injury news. We'll break down where the Steelers rank in all the different offensive and defensive categories. I'm going to let you guys know why I think the Steelers are holding off on the Justin Fields package. I think it's actually a pretty logical answer to that question. Then we'll get into our Week 11 preview here. It is Ravens week here on Steelers Talk, and we hate those fucking Ratbirds. And yes, I am using the F-bomb to talk about this team. And by the way, Cassie hates Ravens fans too. I know Cassie's in the chat right now.
She hates Ravens fans?
Yes, and here's the reason why. When on our first trip to Pittsburgh 2 years ago to Latrobe, she sat next to a Ravens fan that was wearing a Ravens hat, and that guy farted next to Cassie on the plane the entire plane ride there. So Cassie's hatred of Ravens fans. No, it's not a joke. That is 100% real. So that is why she hates Ravens fans, and we hate Ravens fans because, I mean, obviously they're just a fraudulent franchise. We kick their butts. We take their lunch money every single year, man. I think we've won 5 of the last 6 against them. We just swept them last year with Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. What's going to happen now that we have Russ? You know, I feel pretty good about our chances this weekend, Coop, if I do say so myself. Here's our live schedule this week, guys. Of course, you're watching us here on Monday. We're going to be going live on Wednesday, not our normal Thursday day. I'm actually going live on Commanders for the Thursday night football game on Thursday, so we can't go live on Thursday, so we'll go live on Wednesday instead. 5:30 p.m. Eastern time then. So mark your calendars. Make sure you're not late on Wednesday. Then Sunday, it is our live watch party, 12 p.m. Eastern time start, an hour-long pregame, live play-by-play, and then also extensive post-game coverage. Yesterday's watch party was so much fun.
Great time.
We added over 1,000 subscribers. Platinum and Kurgan showed up. It was a lot of fun. We had a really, really good time yesterday watching the Steelers get their 7th win. Hopefully it's just as good this weekend. It's going to be Ravens week, so I think it's going to be even better. And before we start here, we did give away a TJ Watt jersey to Kurgan Cold, okay? He won the raffle yesterday on the watch party, and Kurgan told me today that he already has a TJ Watt jersey, so we want somebody else in our Steelers community that deserves it to get the jersey. So we're actually going to be gifting this jersey here to Pat Lepla. Pat Lepla, you guys know Pat. She's always in the chat, always super active, and she's so supportive of us here at Steelers Talk, and I don't think she's ever won a raffle. So I wanted to give her something here to kind of so Pat, if you're in the chat right now, let us know. I don't know if I've seen her so far, but if she's here, then we're going to give her the TJ Watt jersey. So Coop, keep your eye on Pat Lepla in the chat. If not, I think I do have her contact information and we can reach out to her. So we're going to give this jersey to Pat Lepla. Pat, if you're here, you can email me at sperry@chatsports.com. That's my work email. Let us know where to send the jersey. And we'll get it sent your way. So spam those Pats for me down there in the comments section. We love Pat. She's here every single time, and she's never won anything. So we wanted to give one of our Black Diamonds a nice little treat. Big shout out to Kurgan Cold for donating this jersey. All right, guys, if you guys want to donate to the channel, you guys want to send in a tip of sorts to us here at Steelers Talk for providing you guys free and informative Steelers content every single day, we greatly appreciate it. Plus, we put you on screen. If you got a question and you want to get it up on screen, you guys can super chat, or if you guys want more of your money to go towards us here at Steelers Talk to improve our graphics, improve our equipment, improve our office space, all this great stuff that you guys have allowed us to do with your generosity. You guys can send in a Venmo, a Cashapp, or a PayPal. You can find me at Jack-Sperry on Venmo, # Captain Jack 19 on Cash App, or at Captain Jackrabbit on PayPal. If you're watching us on mobile. Make sure you take a screenshot so you always know where to send your donation dollars. I want to give a big shout out here to all of our Black Diamonds. Coop's going to roll through them here. I haven't gotten to everybody's super chat sticker yet, so F. Sperry,
we're working on
in the chat. We are getting into we're going to get to it this weekend. I'm going to really try to finish up the rest of the Black Diamond stickers, but these are the people that have put in $500 or more or have had a sticker donated by a benefactor like Platinum 666 or Kurgan Cold. By the way, guys, if you're in the chat every single day, if you are supporting the other people in this that support this channel and us as well, you have an opportunity to potentially get a Black Diamond membership for free whenever Platinum goes off, whenever Kurgan goes off. If they donate some stickers, you might even potentially get a free Black Diamond membership. But we only give the Black Diamond memberships to the real ones. So make sure, click that thumbs up icon every live show. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter. You guys can find me at Jack_Sperry. If you support the show, there's a pretty decent chance you're going to end up being a Black Diamond eventually here on the channel. And you know what? Last week, I made a promise to you guys. I said if you followed me on X, I would give you a free raffle entry to win the jersey raffle on the watch party. Well, guess what? We're going to do it again this week. Every new follower that I get on X this week will get a free raffle entry for Sunday's raffle. Now, if you're already following me, unfortunately, that you're not going to be able to benefit from this promotion, but we do give out a lot of free raffle tickets during the watch party anyway. But if you are somebody that's not following me on X right now, you want a free raffle entry for Sunday's game, you guys can go ahead, find me at Jack_Sperry and give me a follow. So get the party started right here, man. I want to see all the real ones that are in the chat right now. We got 250 people watching. Spam those me's if you have clicked that thumbs up icon, because only the real ones know clicking that thumbs up icon is the fastest and easiest way of helping out our channel. We got Bode Irwin here. We got Brian Hagan in here. We got Carter. Got Josh. We've got Omar's Burner. We've got a Buzz Duck. We got Cassie, my lovely girlfriend, in the chat. We got James C. Got Microwave Gamer, Pickens Burner, Jacob Wizarax here. What's up, Jacob? We got Hot Rod 24. Good to see you, Hot Rod. JP Glazer, John McKee, Tristan, Trademark, 2003 Champ. We've got Christian Andujar here, Alida Reapers here, Titus Kitchens is here, Lee Moses. We've got Terry Reed, Derrick Smith is here. What's up, Derrick? Pickens Burner, Brian 03. We got a bunch of great real ones in the chat right now. Let's get to our first super chat of the day here, Coop, and it's from your man, Omar's Burner. What does he say?
Omar, you're talking about yourself in this super chat. He says, I remember when we were having the bench Broderick Jones talks, hopefully short-lived. Also, thank you, Omar, for getting Preston. We will need him. You should be thanking yourself.
Yeah, thank yourself, Omar. So yesterday, Broderick Jones actually had not only the highest PFF grade of his season this year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, he was the highest graded offensive lineman on the Steelers. So Broderick, hopefully Broderick is turning things around here in the second half of the season. I know there was people that said Broderick really needed a break. He really needed an opportunity to just reset after the bye. And kudos to him, man. He came out, and watching the film, I was pretty impressed with how much improvement he showed. So hopefully Broderick Jones turns into a reliable piece at right tackle for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but I need to see it in multiple games, guys. One good game is not going to be enough for me.
Yeah, let's see what he does against Baltimore.
Yeah, let's see what he does against Baltimore, even though Baltimore's defense kind of stinks. But
when we were building our graphics and we looked at those numbers, I was actually surprised how bad their defense
is very bad, and we'll go over their numbers in our preview today. But first, man, we've got our latest Steelers news and rumors segment. We have a $2 super chat here. We want to get to that.
We can get to it.
Yeah, we can get to Pickens Burner's $2 super chat here. And I like it. I like this one a lot. It's a perfect way to start off Ravens week, if you ask me, Coop. Pickens Burner coming in with a $2 super chat says, want to hear a joke? The Baltimore Ravens. You want to hear an even funnier joke? The Cleveland Browns. Goodness gracious, man. The Cleveland Browns sitting at 2-7. What a joke. And you know what, man? Baltimore, they have a good football team. But I'll tell you guys this. The Pittsburgh Steelers always handle the Ravens the correct way. They always bring the physicality. And even when they had Kenny Pickett, they were beating the Baltimore Ravens. All right. So
at this point, I legitimately feel bad for the Browns because they...
I do not. No. Continue your point, but I do not feel bad for the Browns.
They are just so laughably terrible at the game of football I almost feel bad for their fans.
You know what my response to that is? Good. Their fans deserve it. You know how much shit I took from that fan base this year? Talk about how Deshaun Watson is going to lead them to a Lombardi trophy. Give me a break, Cleveland. Let's get to news and rumors. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today we got a bunch of great Steelers news and rumors content to get to you today on the show. It's our second video of the day. First up, an updated look at the AFC playoff picture and where the Steelers kind of fit into that picture right now. Then we'll get into the latest Steelers injury updates around guys like Alex Highsmith, Donte Jackson, and even Najee Harris, who suffered a little bit of an ankle injury yesterday in the win against the Washington Commanders. And then to finish up today's show, make sure you guys stick around because I'm going to tell you why the Pittsburgh Steelers have not gone to the Fields package to this point in the season since going to Russell Wilson at quarterback. Make sure you guys check out our earlier video. I broke down my 8 takeaways after watching the film from the Steelers-Commanders game yesterday afternoon. You're really going to want to see that. I talk about Russell Wilson. I talk about Patrick Queen. I talk about a bunch of players, and I also discuss how the Steelers defense stopped Jaylen Daniels. So if you want to get answers to those questions, we put out a video earlier. I'll put the link to that in the comments and description of today's show. And make sure you guys click that subscribe button for free, informative Steelers content right here on Steelers Talk. Just yesterday on our watch party, we added over 1,000 subscribers to our family. And obviously, those people click that subscribe button for a reason, man. So if you're watching right now, you want a place to get free, informative Steelers content right here on YouTube, this is the place for you. Make sure you click that subscribe button and join our family today. So here is the AFC playoff picture as we sit here today. If the season ended tonight, the Pittsburgh Steelers would be sitting at the number 3 overall seed and division champions, sitting at 7-2. And honestly, there's a little bit of a gap there between the Chiefs, Bills, and Steelers, which I would consider kind of the cream of the crop in the AFC, and then the Houston Texans, who of course took that loss to the Detroit Lions on Sunday Night Football last night. Then in the wild card, you've got Baltimore sitting at 7-3. Of course, the Steelers and Ravens play this weekend, so the winner of that game will be headed over to the division leaders section. Then you got the Chargers and Broncos both in the wild card section at this point. Both of those teams, I think, are overperforming expectations to start this season. And then the others involved here at 4-6, the Colts and the Bengals sitting at 4-6. I still actually think Cincinnati could potentially fit their way into this playoff picture by the end of the season. Then pretty much everybody else in the AFC is a joke, and I'm not worried about them at this point. So let's take some stock here as to where the Steelers are with their offensive and defensive stats. So we start here with the offensive side of the ball with Russell Wilson on the field. Okay, 30.3 points per game. That is currently ranking 3rd. They are 4th in yards per game. They're 13th in yards per play, 9th in third down percentage, and then 25th in red zone percentage with just 2 giveaways in 3 games under Russ. And you go from good with Justin Fields, where you were winning football games with the offense was just scoring about 20 points per game, to really thriving with Russell Wilson. It's opened up the deep passing game, which has opened up the rushing game for Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. And as a result, you're scoring 10 more points per game. You're scoring almost 80 yards more per game as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Actually, over 80 yards more per game. The yards per play is a big jump from 4.76 to 5.62. And that might not seem like a big jump to you, but just so you guys know, 4.76 would be 29th in the NFL right now in yards per play. 5.62 is a lot higher at 13th. So that's a big jump from Fields to Russell Wilson. The third down percentage is slightly higher than the red zone percentage has actually been the exact same. But remember, there was one game where Russ and the Steelers offense went 0 for 4 in that Giants game. And the other 2 games, the red zone offense has actually been pretty darn efficient. So you take a look at the defensive side of the ball now. Once again, they're doing a great job. So right now with Russ, they would be ranking 3rd in scoring offense, and they're 2nd in scoring defense, only allowing 16.2 points per game. That's an excellent figure. The yards per game is also top 10. Same thing with yards per play. They're top 10 in all these categories, man. They take the football away. They stop you in the red zone. They don't allow you to pick up first downs on third down. They're doing a great job in all facets of the game on defense. And they've had some stretches where they haven't been great, but overall, this is one of the best defenses in the National Football League. bar none. And listen, man, because you've got one of the most balanced teams in the National Football League, you got a veteran quarterback that can deliver in clutch moments. He proved that yesterday against the Washington Commanders. You got a great defense that's capable of stopping teams and really keeping teams to under 20 points consistently. And you got a special teams unit as well that can make big-time plays. So the Steelers can win on offense, they can win on defense, and they can win on special teams. Plus, they have a Super Bowl winning head coach in Mike Tomlin. This is arguably the most complete team in football today. And in my opinion, they are definitely Super Bowl contenders. Now, let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Are the Steelers legit Super Bowl contenders as we sit here today? Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section and give me a yes or a no. In just a second here, I'm going to be talking about our sponsor today at PrizePicks. And while I'm talking about PrizePicks, find that pinned comment at the top of the comment section and give me a yes or a no. And with that, let's have a word from our sponsor here at PrizePicks, which is the best place to get real money sports action all on your phone this football season. Join the over 10 million users and sign up today. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. PrizePicks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Also, PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. Sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play just $5. You don't even need to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where every Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineup. So let's take a look at my lineup for tonight's Monday Night Football matchup between the Dolphins and Rams. I'm going to take the less on rushing yards for Devon Achane. I'm playing him in fantasy. I got to take the less on that. I'm going to take the more for Tyreek Hill receiving yards, and I'll take the more on Puka Nacua receiving yards as well. If you guys want to get a lineup in today, you guys can download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly when you use code CLNS after playing your first $5 lineup on the PrizePicks app today. PrizePicks, run your game. So let's get to the latest Steelers injury updates. Of course, we had a couple of injuries for the Pittsburgh Steelers yesterday in that game against the Washington Commanders. We'll start with Alex Highsmith because that was the one that really looked nasty when we were watching it on TV yesterday. Jerry Dulac reported earlier today that Steelers outside linebacker Alex Highsmith having an MRI today to determine the extent of his ankle injury. Not known how long he will be out, the probability at least a couple of games, but Nick Herbig is expected back on Sunday. And right now the projection is about 2 to 3 weeks Alex Highsmith to be out. But the way that he was writhing on the ground, the way that players looked super concerned about him after that play, it looked like he might have broke his ankle, which would have ended his season. So the fact that it's just a sprain and the fact that he's only going to be out for maybe a month tops is absolutely good news if you are a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And this team definitely dodged a bullet here. And it looks like he is going to be back healthy before this team gets down the home stretch of the 2024 season. And the good news also in that report from Jerry Dulac is that Nick Herbig is expected to be back this week in the lineup. So you pretty much replace Alex Highsmith with Nick Herbig, who we all know is a starting capable outside linebacker when he's healthy, and he's going to be able to get after the very speedy Lamar Jackson this weekend at home in that rivalry matchup. The expected edge rotation here, of course, you're going to have TJ Watt, and I expect Nick Herbig to start over Preston Smith at this point in time. I do think Smith is going to get in the rotation just like he did in yesterday's game against the Washington Commanders. But right now, even with Alex Highsmith out, you still have a very good pass rushing trio here in Pittsburgh. Now, when it comes to Najee Harris here, we know that he left the game as well with a little bit of a scary ankle injury, and we know that he can play. He came back in the game yesterday against the Washington Commanders and finished the game, but he's not probably going to be 100% to play this weekend against a very stout Baltimore Ravens run defense. They are currently number 1 in the NFL in yards per carry allowed. So this is a very stout Baltimore Ravens run defense, and a guy like Najee Harris who really relies on that ankle strength to really push off at the line of scrimmage and fight for those extra yards. We might be looking at a Jaylen Warren game here on Sunday. So if you have Jaylen Warren in fantasy, this might be a good day to start him, because I do think not only is he going to get more touches in this one than in previous weeks, but I also think his production might be a little bit better, because I think that his skill set might be better suited to get more yards against the Baltimore Ravens defense. And speaking of those Ratbirds, man, if you hate the Baltimore Ravens, click that thumbs up icon right now and support the Pittsburgh Steelers and support us here at Steelers Talk. It's the best, easiest, and free way to help out the channel, man. So if you want to help out our channel today and help out this video be the best that it can be, and if you hate the Ratbirds, click that thumbs up icon right now. So now let's discuss here to finish up today's show why we haven't seen the Justin Fields package. And I get this question all the time. Jack, why aren't the Steelers using Justin Fields? Isn't he healthy? What's going on here? Well, I actually don't think it has anything to do with his health. He did have a little bit of a hamstring flare-up a couple of weeks ago, but he was fully healthy and he was a full go against the Washington Commanders. In terms of the question of why Fields hasn't been on the field in terms of a Fields package, is because he's already had 6 starts, okay? And I think that Pittsburgh is trying to save some of his reps for later in the season. Now, why would the Steelers do that? Well, the reason why that is probably because, well, if he plays 50% of the offensive snaps this year, you have to send a 4th-round pick to the Chicago Bears instead of sending a 6th-round pick to the Bears. So what I think is happening here is I think Mike Tomlin not only is trying to get Russell Wilson really ingrained into the offense, but I also think that he is trying to really not cut it close when it comes to getting to that 50% offensive snap share for Justin Fields. And I really do think another thing that he wants to do is he wants to save Justin Fields in that package for this final kind of stretch of AFC North divisional games that we have over the final 8-game stretch of this season, right? You've got the Chiefs and the Eagles as out of division opponents here to finish up the year. But other than that, man, you've got 2 games against the Ravens, 2 games against the Browns, and 2 games against the Bengals. And none of these guys have seen what the Justin Fields package looks like. Now, they've seen him play as a starting quarterback, so maybe it's not that big of an advantage. But I do think the Steelers are trying to save Justin Fields to try to give themselves the best possible chance to be able to unload that and unleash that on the NFL come season's end, and also get them closer to giving up a 6th-round pick in exchange for him to Chicago instead of a 4th-round pick. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. Should we see the Fields package this week against Baltimore, or should they wait a little bit longer? Let me know what you guys are thinking down there in the comments section. For me, as long as the Steelers are winning football games, I'm going to trust Mike Tomlin to make the right decision at this position for the rest of the season. Plain and simply, man, we doubted this guy, or a lot of us doubted making that move from Justin Fields to Russell Wilson in Week 7, and he ended up making the right decision here. So for me, I'm trusting Coach T. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Make sure you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Really do appreciate all of your guys' support. Make sure you click that subscribe button because we got our Week 11 preview for Steelers versus Ravens coming out tomorrow on the channel. You're not going to want to miss that, so make sure you click that subscribe button right now. All right, first one in the books. I saw a couple of super chats here.
We got quite a few during the segment.
Quite a few super chats. So Verth X coming in with a $2 super chat. Appreciate you, Verth.
And then look who's back.
Hey! Darrow. Says, do you know how long Alex Highsmith will be out? So we just talked about it.
Yeah, he sent that just before we talked about it during the segment. So
gotcha.
It sounds like 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3 weeks is the expectation.
Which is pretty good news, honestly.
Could be up to like 4 weeks, which would be another month. But I think that as long as you don't have another injury in the edge rusher room, you should be okay. You've still got 3 really good starting quality edge rushers on this team right now, even without Alex Highsmith. So I think that the only thing that really matters here, Coop, I think we all know the Steelers are probably going to be a playoff team this year. Make sure you guys are healthy for the playoffs. That is what I say.
To be cautious, would you consider putting him on IR?
Honestly, yeah.
I think I would too.
I would think about it, especially
if it's a 3-week minimum injury. I'd consider just putting him on IR, giving him the full 4 weeks.
Yeah,
and try
yeah.
To get healthy.
I wouldn't be opposed to that, especially if you think it's going to be closer to 4 weeks. And because listen, man, like if he's ready to go in 2 weeks and he's on IR, then that kind of sucks, right? Especially because you play tough teams on this schedule.
But now that Herbig is back and you have Preston Smith into the fold, I think you can get away with that if you think it's going to be a 3+ week injury.
Absolutely. All right, Thick Clappa, $5 super chat says, "What's up, Jack and Coop? I can't super much because I don't got the funds.
All good.
But I want to see the sticker. So Thick Clappa, F Sperry in the chat. I haven't gotten to your sticker. All right, so I need to
We'll get to it.
But trust me, Thick Clappa, it's going to slap. Let's just say that. All right.
Will we be able to show it on YouTube?
Yeah, we'll be able to show it on YouTube.
All right. I'm just making sure it won't be.
We'll be able to show it.
It won't be one of those pictures that.
Don't you worry, Thick Clappa.
On another side.
I'm probably going to get to the stickers this weekend.
Okay.
All right. So just so you know, Thick Clappa, I appreciate you. Birth X, $5 super chat says, "Do you think the Chiefs will still be undefeated come Christmas? And if so, do you still have them winning that game?" Honestly, they play the Bills this weekend. I think they lose to the Bills.
You think this is? The week
I think this is the week that they finally lose. And honestly,
that's a hell of a game. Is that Sunday night?
I don't think. No, it's 325. I think CBS paid a lot of money for it.
Interesting.
So I think it's America's Game of the Week or whatever it's called. So, Verth, I think that they're probably going to lose this weekend. So my answer to that is probably no.
It would be badass though if they were undefeated and we got to beat them on Christmas.
But I'll say this: I think that the Steelers have a good chance of beating them.
It's at home, right?
The Steelers just statistically are the better football team.
Yeah.
Right now.
But it's the Chiefs.
The Chiefs' offense is actually not a good offense.
It's not been great. Yeah.
Like they only scored, what was it? 16 points against the Broncos defense is good, but they gave up 41 points to the Ravens, right? Like the Chiefs are good in the fact that they are great in situational moments.
Absolutely.
Patrick Mahomes is clutch. The defense is super clutch. We saw special teams. They made a big play in a huge spot yesterday. Also, that's just a giant failure on Sean Payton and the Broncos' part. But so Thick Clappa, Cassie just texted me, says Cassie needs your Black Diamond jersey info. So Thick Clappa, let us know in the chat what color jersey you want, the number, and then what you want on the back. I'm probably just going to go Clappa on the back, okay? Probably just going to go Clappa on the back. So let Cassie know black or white, and then let her choose a jersey number for when we wear your jersey on the watch.
What a great name.
Absolutely fantastic name, baby. I mean, 90% of me choosing him as a Black Diamond, I mean, he's in the chat like every single show. But
he's a real one.
But it's also a name. And it's also like the name is just so good. John Nye, $1 super chat. First time super chat. Let's give John some Ric Flair drip. Woo!
Shout out to John.
Speaking of $1 super chats and speaking of first time super chats, Chicken Dog, another good name, my friend. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Appreciate you, Chicken Dog. We got a $10 super chat from one of our Black Diamonds here, Dylan Lewandowski. And he says, Steelers 21, Ravens 17. So this is an interesting take here from Dylan because a lot of people are predicting a kind of shootout because these are two of some of the most explosive offenses in football, at least over the last 3 weeks with Russ. Right now, the Ravens lead in most statistical categories on offense. They got a great run game.
Yep.
He has the Ravens just scoring 17, and he only has the Steelers, who are averaging 30 points a game, to score 21 against kind of a lackluster Ravens defense. So, Dylan,
don't give away your prediction.
I'm not going to give away my prediction, but I'm going to say I kind of like where all I'm going to say is I kind of like where Dylan's coming from here. It's actually a lot closer to my score prediction than I think a lot of people are expecting from this football game. Champy, $2 super chat says Cards on fire, Steelers of the West. Champy, I appreciate you stopping by today, man. But honestly,
They're built differently.
They're built way differently, man. And Jonathan Gannon, unproven head coach. With all due respect to the Cardinals, their defense is nowhere close to the Steelers' defense. Maybe they'll get there someday, and maybe they're up and coming, but they're definitely not the established elite unit the Steelers are. But I appreciate you, Champy. Thanks for the $2. Thanks for watching Steelers Talk by Chat Sports today. First time super chat from Dr. Bone Cutter. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Says, with that Mike Williams touchdown, do you think he will be a big contributor in this offense? Well, he's got to get on the freaking field, right? And I think he will get on the field more this weekend. He did practice fully 3 times after getting traded to the Steelers on trade deadline day.
Yep.
But it just wasn't enough time to master or even really comprehend the playbook. The Steelers run an offense where they really have 2 plays in the huddle on every play. So you got to know the complete offense. You got to know the checks. You got to learn the audibles, all this different stuff. And Mike just didn't have that stuff down. Hell, he didn't even know what route he was supposed to run on the touchdown. Did you hear about this, Coop?
Wait, really? No.
Yeah. So he goes in there, and they pretty much tell him, hey, Calvin, get off. We want the big body. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And Russ tells him, just run this route. And he just ran it, and
that's kind of
a touchdown.
That's kind of what I figured they did with him pretty much all game when he was on the field yesterday, because he probably doesn't know much about the playbook, and Russ will literally just be like, hey, go run this. And look, it worked. It was the game-winning touchdown. It was a great catch, and I think
It was a great route.
It was.
He stacked Benjamin St. Juice. I mean, I know this because I cover the Commanders too. Commanders fans are calling Benjamin St. Juice Benjamin St. Toast today. They are pissed at him. They're saying bench this guy because of how bad Mike Williams made him look yesterday for that game-winning touchdown. So yes, Dr. Bone Cutter, I'm a big fan. I've been somebody that was like, there's other guys out there that I'd rather have than Mike Williams. But if they get Mike Williams, it's a fit, it works, and it fits this offense, right? And that's what they ended up doing here. And I think Williams is going to play more this weekend. I think he's going to have a very prominent role. And as he gets more and more acclimated to this offense, I think this passing attack gets more and more dangerous because he is a downfield threat. And as we know with those beautiful touch balls from Russell Wilson, those lollipops, it's just perfect for guys like George Pickens and Mike Williams to go up and make those 50-50 balls.
I'd like to fondle Russ's moon balls.
I'm just going to let that sit for a second. All right, so let's get into our preview here. Make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon. If you want to get on the show today, don't be shy. Send in a donation. We really do appreciate your guys' support. We love to answer questions. If you want answers on Alex Highsmith, Nick Herbig, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, whatever, we're happy to take questions. So make sure you get those questions down there in the chat. And let's get it going, man, right now. My Week 11 preview. Hopefully this week we don't have to redo it. We had to redo it last week because of the trades, but there's no trades this week. So unless there's a major injury, might have to, but I don't really see that happening. Okay, let's get into our Week 11 preview. It's Ratbirds week right here on Steelers Talk. So let's kick it off with our preview coming at you right now. The Steelers take on the Ratbirds here in Week 11 in their first AFC North interdivision matchup of the 2024 season, in a matchup that I know Steelers fans, Ravens fans, and NFL fans across the world cannot wait to see at Acrisure Stadium on Sunday. Welcome into the Steelers Talk preview. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and we are going to be going live for this Week 11 matchup starting at 12 p.m. Eastern Time right here on the channel, where we're going to be giving you guys an hour-long pregame tailgate. Then we have the live play-by-play reacting to everything that happens in this football game this week, and then we have extensive post-game coverage as well after, hopefully, the Steelers improve to 8-2 on the 2024 season and cement themselves at the top of the AFC North standings. All right, guys, before we get into the content in the preview today, I have a little bit of an ask. If you're new to the channel and you haven't clicked that subscribe button yet, click that subscribe button today, because we are currently in a subscriber battle with our frenemies here at the Ravens Rundown and their new host, Joey Peterson. He's a little cocky, and he thinks he can take on Steelers Talk because he's had a hot start here with 46 new subs this week. And in fact, Joey Peterson came to my desk today, and he said he wanted to give a message to Steelers Nation. Here it is.
Remember me? Producer Joey? Yeah, well, I switched to the right side of this rivalry, and I cannot wait for the Baltimore Ravens to absolutely destroy Pittsburgh on Sunday. And oh yeah, all week long, Ravens Rundown's going to destroy Steelers Talk as well. I'm excited for you guys to actually get to watch a quarterback that has a little bit of aura to him instead of, Russell Wilson. Good luck with the season, and good luck on Sunday.
As you guys can see, Joey Peterson's feeling pretty good about himself, but I think that he's pretty new to this racket. He doesn't understand that the Steelers have beaten the Ravens last 5 out of their last 6 matchups. So help us beat the Ravens on and off the field here by clicking that subscribe button. And new viewers, we are counting on you guys. The real ones that are already subscribed to this channel can't help us out in this battle. It's just new subscribers. So if you want to help us out right now, click that subscribe button for me right now and help us beat the Ravens. Okay, man, let's talk about this matchup because first place in the AFC North will be on the line this weekend at Acrisure Stadium when the Ravens travel to Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers. Of course, the Ravens sitting at 7-3, Steelers sitting at 7-2. Something's got to give here, man, and I cannot wait to see this matchup unfold on Sunday, man. And listen, man, like I said, winner takes first place in the AFC North. Now, it's certainly not the end of the battle, right? If the Steelers win, they do have a 1.5 game advantage here over the Baltimore Ravens, so that would certainly be nice. But even if the Steelers lose this game, it's definitely far from over in terms of this fight. These two teams even play another time this season. So this is definitely going to be interesting to see here in this first matchup here. This might be the first of 3 matchups between these two teams. And I think that this is going to be one of the defining matchups of the 2024 season for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So let's get into it here with what you guys can expect from the Baltimore Ravens schematically. John Harbaugh, Steelers know him well. He's the second longest tenured head coach in the NFL. The only one that he hasn't beaten in that regard is Mike Tomlin, who's 1 year his senior. He has a lifetime career head coaching record of 167 and 102. That is a crazy record for John Harbaugh right there with that many games. He has won a Super Bowl. The offensive scheme that they operate there in Baltimore is a modern pro spread offense run by offensive coordinator Todd Monken, who's done a fantastic job these last 2 years operating that offense with Lamar Jackson. Then on defense, they run an aggressive 3-4 with Zach Orr as their new defensive play caller, but that defense has not been nearly as good as it was last year with Mike McDonald as their DC. So the results so far for the Ratbirds. You take a look here, you take those 2 losses to start the season, including that weird one to the Raiders at home. Couple of weird losses, if I'm being honest. You lose to the Raiders at home, you lose to the Browns in Jameis Winston's first start with the Browns. And those are 2 games that obviously they should have won. So this is a team that can be on and off every once in a while. Every few weeks they have an off day. So could that be with the Pittsburgh Steelers this week? We will see. But they've beaten good teams like the Commanders, like the Bills. They stomped the Bills 35-10. So this is certainly a team that can beat good teams in the AFC. Take a look at the key injuries on this team heading into the week. Kyle Hamilton is questionable with an ankle. He is very important to their defensive scheme, particularly in the passing game. If he is not on the field, that's going to spell trouble for the Baltimore Ravens secondary. Isaiah Likely will be questionable. Did not play last week against the Bengals with a hamstring injury. And then Michael Pierce is on IR with a calf injury. You have really good run stuffer in the middle. Now you take a look at the key offensive pieces. And when it comes to just pure talent, the Baltimore Ravens offense is one of the most talented offenses in the National Football League. Lamar Jackson, a 2-time league MVP. Derrick Henry, having arguably the best season of his career, which is crazy right now. Zay Flowers is a legit number 1 receiver, in my opinion, route runner extraordinaire. And then you got kind of another kind of similar route runner type in Donte Jackson that they traded for just a couple weeks ago. Rashad Bateman is kind of their bigger receiver weapon. Isaiah Likely may or may not play, but he's very talented from the tight end spot. Mark Andrews is still a very good player. And then Justice Hill, as a 3rd down running back, has been very effective for them as a pass catcher out of the backfield. And when you look at the team trends here for the Ravens offense, it's very easy to see that this is the best offense in football right now. All right, first in scoring offense, first in yards per play, so their efficiency is off the charts. First in red zone percentage, man. This team can just run it down your throat, and they can score in the red zone. They don't turn the ball over either. Super good offense for the Baltimore Ravens. But the Steelers' defense is also very good. Top 2 in points per game allowed here in scoring defense, right? And then the red zone defense is very, very good as well. So something's going to have to give here with this really high-flying matchup between the Ravens offense and the Steelers defense. If you believe the points per game trends here, the Ravens are scoring just about 32 points per game, and the Steelers are giving up 16.2 points per game. So you look at the trends here, and it would predict that the Ravens would score 24 points on the road in Pittsburgh in this football game. But obviously, that's pretty much just the law of averages there, and we'll see how much the Ravens actually end up scoring on Sunday. Take a look at the defensive side of the ball for Baltimore. Kyle Hamilton, I think, is their best defensive player. If he's not on the field, that's going to be really, really bad for this Baltimore Ravens defense. Let's just put it that way. Marlon Humphrey is a good press man corner on the outside. Justin Madubuike, who they just signed this offseason at defensive tackle, had a really good game against the Cincinnati Bengals, even though he's had kind of an off year. Adafe Owe and Kyle Van Noy, a good edge rusher duo, and then Nate Wiggins, the highly drafted rookie out of Clemson. The Steelers took a hard look at him. He is a speedster when he is in the game. So you look at the team trends here, and we'll look at the Steelers offense with Russ here because I think that's more relevant than looking at the numbers with Justin Fields as well. And when you look at the Steelers numbers with Russ, they're third in points per game, so this is a high-flying Steelers offense with Russ on the field. They throw the ball down the field. They're very efficient in terms of running the football. And you look at the Ravens defense, I mean, I think this is going to surprise a lot of people just how bad the Baltimore Ravens defense is this year. They give up a ton of first downs on third downs. They give up a lot of points and a lot of yards. All right, and the efficiency isn't very good either. So I look at this matchup here, and I think that, the trends would certainly predict a higher scoring kind of affair here, and the trends would predict 27 points for the Steelers. So if you've been keeping up here, that means the trends would predict a 27-24 victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers at home this weekend. So that's kind of crazy here because if you listen to all the people in the national media, a lot of people still say the Baltimore Ravens are the better team, but at least on paper right now, the trends would certainly point to the Steelers being the slightly better team at this point in the season. So still to come. Let me know. It's still to come here on the Steelers Talk Preview. Keys to victory versus the Ravens. I got 5 of them for you today. Also, Lamar Jackson scouting report, and we'll break down his career numbers against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Spoiler alert, they're not very good. And then we'll go over my Week 11 score prediction at the end of today's show. So make sure you stick around for all that great stuff. But before we get into the rest of today's Steelers Talk Preview, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics, where if you guys want a brand new Russell Wilson jersey, and you think Russ is going to be the quarterback here in Pittsburgh for at least the next couple of seasons, invest in his jersey right now by going to chatsports.com/Russ to pick up a brand new Russell Wilson Steelers jersey today. We've already raffled a couple of these babies off on the Steelers Talk watch parties. If you don't want to wait around, you want to get this jersey in your closet today, plus you want to help out the channel, when you use our link, chatsports.com/Russ, and you make a purchase, Fanatics sends us part of the proceeds. So if you're already planning on getting a Russell Wilson jersey, go ahead and get it from Fanatics today to help out the channel, and make sure you use our link, chatsports.com/Russ, to get the job done. So before we get into my team-specific keys to victory here, I figured, I've been putting a lot of the same stuff in the keys to victory as of late, so I've come up with 6 weekly keys for the Pittsburgh Steelers that the Steelers need to do in order to win football games consistently, okay? And here are the 6 weekly keys to victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Doesn't matter who you're playing, the Steelers need to do these 6 things consistently in order to be a consistent football team. You got to win the line of scrimmage. You got to win on 3rd and 4th downs, or as Mike Tomlin would call it, the weighty downs. You got to win in the red zone. You got to win the turnover battle. You don't beat yourself with stupid penalties and turnovers, and you make the play in the 4th quarter to either seal the deal or to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Okay, so now with those out of the way, let's go on to the specific team keys for beating Baltimore, okay? Because there's some very interesting ways I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be able to potentially be victorious in this football game. So the first one here, let's talk about Lamar Jackson. And we talked about it last week with Jaylen Daniels. Now we'll talk about it with Lamar Jackson. You got to keep him in the bucket. What does the bucket mean? You do not want that bucket to leak. You do not want Lamar Jackson to escape the pocket and beat you with his legs, because he is the most dynamic rusher of the football at this position in the game, with maybe the one exception being Justin Fields, and Jayden Daniels is certainly slightly behind him. But Lamar, his change of direction as a rusher and his agility and his 0 to 60 is just insane for a quarterback, all right? You just have to be able to corral him, to keep him in the pocket, and force him to beat you as a passer. But even as a passer, he's got great arm talent. He can throw with touch and accuracy. He's got super clean and smooth throwing mechanics. His mental processing is better than people give him credit for, and his playmaking outside of the pocket as a passer is also very underrated. And also his pocket presence as well. He can feel pressure at a very good rate, and he can escape pressure or escape the pocket when needed to make big plays. The cons are very hard to find with this game. It's just things here or there. Maybe I wish he had a slightly better mental processing. Maybe I wish he had a slightly stronger arm, all these different things. But most of all, man, he's just a really complete player, which makes him a truly elite NFL quarterback. But remember, Lamar Jackson, his kryptonite throughout his career has been one Mike Tomlin. When he plays Mike Tomlin defenses, he goes from an elite MVP caliber quarterback to somebody that definitely does not resemble that type of guy. You look at his numbers here versus Mike Tomlin in the games that he has started and finished against the Pittsburgh Steelers. 58.7% completion percentage. That is way below his NFL career average. In the yards per game, just 214.5. With as much as he's passed the football in these games, that's not very much per attempt. And then you look at the touchdown to interception ratio, not good at all. Just 4 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And you take a look at the perimeter matchup here between the Ravens wide receivers and the Steelers cornerbacks, Zay Flowers, Donte Jackson, and Rashad Bateman. And right now the Steelers have the challenge here to fit the right puzzle pieces with the right receivers. Because honestly, I'm not sure Joey Porter Jr. is the type of corner that's really good at handling kind of smaller, shiftier route runners like Zay Flowers or Donte Jackson. But those are going to be their 2 top receiving weapons. So this is honestly a good matchup for Baltimore, but I really do think that Mike Tomlin does a good job of getting Lamar off his spot, making him speed up his internal clock, and just as we saw with Jayden Daniels last year, decline his accuracy rate quite significantly with the blitzes that he sends. But along with these receivers, the Steelers need to lock up the tight ends. If Isaiah Likely plays, they're going to have to really do a good job covering him up, whether that's Patrick Queen, whether that's strong safety Deshaun Elliott, whether that's free safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. They need to find a way to cover up these tight ends because Baltimore will go to 12 and 13 personnel quite a bit, which means 2 and 3 wide or tight end sets. So the Steelers better be ready to go. And, if I'm being honest with you guys, all right, we talked about Lamar a lot on this show. He is not who I'm worried about in this Ravens offense, okay? Because the element that the Steelers have not seen in this Ravens offense in years past is one King Henry. And you got to contain him if you want to win this football game. You cannot let Derrick Henry run all over you if you want to win here in Week 11 or when they play later this season. Plain and simply. Take a look at King Henry's numbers this year. He's arguably having the best season of his career. You can make an argument for MVP for this guy, man. He's almost eclipsed his total yard number from Tennessee last year. Already this year, it's Week 11. That's how good this guy is right now. He's averaging over 6 yards per carry. He's got over 110 yards per game and 12 touchdowns. So he is by far and away the most productive running back in the National Football League. Now, the Steelers have done a pretty good job in general of bottling up opposing teams' rushing attacks. Right now, they're 4th in yards per carry allowed, but as we saw in certain spurts, the first thing that comes to mind here is the Dallas Cowboys game. The Steelers defense has had spurts here where an opposing offense can take advantage of the Steelers' run defense. That can't happen in this game if the Steelers want to come away victorious. And the way that you mitigate the run game, all these different things, the multiple tight end sets that the Ravens are going to put out there, you got to put out base personnel. What that means, 5 down linemen, 2 linebackers, 2 safeties, and then 2 cornerbacks is what the Steelers would have in their base personnel in their 3-4 defense. Okay, so 2 outside linebackers, 3 down linemen, 2 inside linebackers, 2 safeties, and 2 cornerbacks is what to expect from the Pittsburgh Steelers pretty much the entire game on defense on Sunday. Not a whole lot of nickel from them. Okay, now we get to, I think, the big X factor on defense for the Steelers this week, and that's going to be T.J. Watt. He's got to take advantage of his matchup against rookie right tackle Roger Rosengarden, who's coming out of Washington. He was Troy Fautano's teammate. And he is undersized, all right? He can move well, but he's going to be susceptible to power. And T.J. Watt, I think, is going to eat this kid for breakfast if they leave him one-on-one. Also, Daniel Failele, their right guard, isn't all that good either, so look for Larry Ogunjobi to potentially have a good game as well. I would say the left side of this offensive line for Baltimore is better than their right side. Staley, McCarry, and Linderbaum are all established pros, so I'm definitely looking at T.J. Watt to being the X factor to get to Lamar Jackson and put him on the ground. Okay, now we get to the offensive side of the ball for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they need to win through the air, okay, plain and simply. This is a game where Russ is really going to have to show his true colors as the Steelers quarterback this season, because the Baltimore Ravens are actually pretty darn good at stopping the run. They're only allowing 3.4 yards per carry this year, which is tops in the National Football League. Now, you guys have seen their defensive numbers. Overall, they're not that good because they have a terrible pass defense. So Russell Wilson, with George Pickens, with Mike Williams, with Calvin Austin III, with Van Jefferson, with Pat Freiermuth, with the running backs that can catch the football, you got to let Russ cook in this football game. Now, that doesn't mean completely abandon your identity in the run game. You still get it to Najee Harris. You still get it to Jaylen Warren. You still run the football, but you really have to prioritize beating this team through the air as well. And really, I think Mike Williams is going to be a big X factor on offense in this football game, because you take a look at the perimeter matchups here on this side of the ball. Marlon Humphrey is a really good number one corner. He's going to be going up against George Pickens. Don't love that matchup for GP, but I like the Mike Williams versus Brandon Stevens matchup a hell of a lot more. So I think Big Mike could be in for a really, really big homecoming here in Acrisure Stadium in his first Steelers home game as a member of this football team. I think Nate Wiggins is actually a really good matchup for Calvin Austin III because of Nate's speed. He ran in the 4.3s at the combine. He's a speedster, man, big time. So honestly, I think that Baltimore matches up quite well with the Steelers on offense. So even though their defense isn't very good overall, I think that they actually have pretty favorable matchups here, and I think the Steelers will definitely have to work for it if they want to win this football game. Then the final thing here that's a key to victory for Pittsburgh is you have to want it more than them. All right, a lot of this football game is going to be trench warfare. It's going to be the Steelers offensive line versus the Ravens defensive line, and it'll be the Ravens O-line versus the Steelers D-line. Whoever wins the line of scrimmage in this football game, guys, is probably going to come away victorious in my opinion, all right? And as far as who I think wins that line of scrimmage battle and who I think comes out on top, give me Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers to continue their success over the Baltimore Ravens. I think it's going to be closer than people think, and I actually think it's going to be lower scoring than people think. I'm going to give the Steelers the win here, 23-20. Maybe a Chris Boswell game-winning field goal. Maybe it's a defensive stop from TJ Watt. I don't know how this game is going to finish, but I feel like 23-20 is going to be the final result, and the Steelers will improve to 8-2. So it's your turn. Let me know down there in the comments section. Predict a score of Steelers versus Ravens down there in the comments section. I got 23-20 this week. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Appreciate your guys' support. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already. We do in-depth previews like this for every single Steelers game every single week to go along with our other free and informative Steelers content every single day here on Steelers Talk. So make sure you guys click that subscribe button if you haven't already for a daily dose of Steelers news and rumors. All right, so we're about to wrap things up here on the live.
We did get a super chat. I just need to reset our software real quick, so let me pull that up.
So we've got last call for supers, all right? Last call if you want to get on the show, if you have a question, if you have a topic you want us to discuss. We're approaching the end of the line here. We got through our 2 segments today. And Coop and I still have some work we got to get done before we go home today. And speaking of tonight, very interesting matchup here. I'm excited to see this game. I can't believe I'm excited to see a 2-win football team in Week 10 of the NFL football season, but the Dolphins have had 2 tough losses the last 2 weeks since Tua came back, and this is a team that I think they could potentially beat in the Los Angeles Rams. It's not the best defense in the world. It's not the worst, but it's going to be an interesting football game here, Coop. What are your thoughts on this one?
I don't see that it's going to be that interesting. I really think Stafford and the Rams have it going right now. They've gotten pretty hot. I think I'd taken the Rams pretty comfortably. I would say by 2 scores.
Okay, so where's my score prediction here? I'm gonna pick the Rams in this one. I can't remember what I had as the final score. I think I have it like 27. Yeah, 27-24. I think it's closer than people think, and I think it's going to be another close loss for the Miami Dolphins. I do like the fact that the Rams are home. I do like the fact that they're hot. The Dolphins are probably, they're kind of down in the dumps, so to speak. I think their season's over and they know it, but the Rams know that their season might just be getting started.
Yep.
So I agree with you, Coop. I think it's going to be closer than people think. but I'm going to go 27-24 Rams. $5 super chat coming in from DJS8715 says, my score prediction is 23 Steelers, Ravens 20. My exact score prediction.
Go.
All right, so great minds think alike there, DJS. Says Tucker has really regressed this year, so I think we win because of a missed field goal. Ooh. I don't hate that.
I like that prediction. I think that's good.
I don't hate that prediction at all. Like I said, I don't know how the Steelers win 23-20. I don't know if it's like a game-winning field goal. I don't know if it's a game-losing miss. I don't know if it's TJ Watt blowing things up at the end.
All I know is the Steelers always find a way to beat the Ravens, so.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be a good game. I think Lamar will probably play better than his career averages because his career averages are ass against Mike Tomlin. But I think that they'll hold them to 20, and I think the Steelers will get to 23, if not more.
How ass are they?
They're pretty ass. All right, we got some more super chats rolling in here, so I guess you guys want to keep the party going here. We got a $5 super chat coming in from Titus Kitchen.
Shout out Titus.
What's up, Titus? Says, why not give Harris more rushes so we can gain 100 yards a game? Well, the reason why
they don't care about stats, number one.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin. I mean,
what did he say?
He said statistics are for losers like us. Statistics are for losers like us. We're not a part of the NFL, so we're losers. Okay, but they don't care about stats, Titus. What they care about is winning. And honestly, Najee Harris. I mean, he's not 100%. It sounds like his ankle is hurting him a little bit here, and I think that we're going to see him get less carries this week because he's not going to be 100% on Sunday.
There you go.
And by the way, you got a guy in Jaylen Warren who's more than capable of taking some more.
And you have Cordero back.
And you got Cordero back. He can take a little bit of the load off as well. So I think, if you have Najee Harris in fantasy, I would probably bench him if I'm being honest with you. The Ravens have a very stout run defense, and I think he gets a lower share of the carries. But Jaylen Warren might be a good one to start if you need somebody else. $20 super chat from Grant Huckstein. I hope I'm saying that right. Huckstein says first time chat, but following the channel. Is this a first time super chat?
It does not give us the little dealio on YouTube.
Well, if I'm going to take Grant at his word here. Let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo! Grant, appreciate you. Says been following the channel for a little while now. Big fan. Question. I feel more confident about beating the Ravens than the Bengals past few years. Joe Burrow has owned us. What are your thoughts? So my official prediction. Okay, I put out my official record prediction video, I think a couple weeks ago. I had the Steelers sweeping the Ravens. I have them sweeping the Browns and then splitting with the Bengals. So I kind of agree with you here, Grant.
I think that's fair as well.
That I think, maybe you lose the game to the Bengals on the road, coming up here in a couple weeks, and then you probably beat them at home in the season finale. I think that is probably more than.
I feel like this Bengals team is better than their record says they are. They've been hard done by in a few games, especially. I mean, let's be honest here. They got fucked on Thursday night.
Oh, Pat Lepla's here. Let's go, Lepla. Pat. Can you put my email in there? So, Pat, we did. Kurgan Cold won the jersey yesterday, and he wanted me to donate the jersey to somebody who deserves it. Pat, you have been here for a long time. I don't think you've ever won a raffle. So we wanted to give you something special here for your support of the channel. Give me an email, all right? Take a screenshot of your screen if you're watching us on mobile, or just take note of my email here. I think everybody in the chat would agree that Pat deserves it. She's here every single show. She's a big-time supporter of the channel, and even though she doesn't donate all that much in terms of Super Chat, we don't care about that.
We don't care about it.
We really don't care about that, man. We care about people that love the Steelers, that want to have fun talking Steelers with us, and Pat is the perfect example of that. By the way, Pat, I got your jersey finally. I got your customized jersey, your number 3 jersey. We'll be wearing it on the watch party on Sunday. So, Pat, send me an email and with your shipping address, where you want us to send it, what your jersey size is, and we'll get it sent your way. Okay? So here's my prediction on the Bengals, Coop. I think they make the playoffs.
I kind of think so too. Look, they got banged against the Ravens. They got screwed against the Chiefs. So that's 2 more wins that they already should have. And I think they're going to get hot here. Joe Burrow is too good.
I think they finished the season 9-8, and they finished the season as a 7th seed.
Yeah, I can easily see it, man.
Because I think the Broncos start falling like flies here. I think they start losing a lot of games, and I don't really believe in the Colts
So you think all 4 teams in the AFC North can make it? Oh, wait. The Browns are going to have the number 1 pick because they fucking stink.
Will they have the number 1 pick?
No, the Giants, I think, are going to, but Giants, because Carolina just beat them.
Oh, so Pat Lepla says her daughter is sending the email for her. Perfect. Okay, perfect, Pat. We'll get you that TJ Watt jersey. Make sure your daughter knows to send your jersey size and whether you want black or white, along with your shipping address, of course. All right, I think that's going to be it today, unless we have a last-second super chat here. But you guys are the best. Thank you so much for your support.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Remember, don't forget, we're going to be live on Wednesday this week, not Thursday, because I have to cover the Commanders game on Thursday Night Football this week. So we'll be going live on Wednesday instead. Don't be late. I appreciate all of your guys' love and support. Until next time, guys, here we go, Steelers.